this order we'll be proceeding. Introduction, 5 types in Holozoic nutrition, digestive system mind map, associated glands, enzymes and their functions. So one by one let us see. Introduction. Heterotrophic nutrition. Okay. Organisms that either indirectly or directly depend on plants. Okay, so that is called heterotrophic nutrition. In my previous video, we saw that there are 3 types: saprophytes, parasitic and holozoic. Saprophytes means especially the fungi that which feed on dead and decayed organic matter. Parasitic are organisms that depend on other organisms for food and shelter. Now we will see about holozoic nutrition in this video. Holozoic nutrition, example, human beings, all animals, okay, and even that amoeba, single-celled amoeba, okay. So when I talk about amoeba, that is a single-celled organism, there the holozoic nutrition will take place as an intracellular digestion, okay. So that's about it. Now we'll pass on to the video. Now I will explain to you about the 5 types of holozoic nutrition, okay. Actually 5 steps involved in holozoic nutrition. It's not the types, 5 steps that involve in the holozoic nutrition. Right. See, holozoic nutrition. Okay, so we have first thing is ingestion, then digestion, okay, then digestion, okay, then absorption and assimilation, okay. Ingestion, digestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation. So ingestion, that which happens inside the mouth, okay. The food we eat is nicely crushed, grinded with the help of our teeth, and there is tongue to taste the food, and we have salivary glands that secrete saliva. Thus the food is nicely crushed and grinded in the mouth. So all that which happens in our mouth, in the buccal cavity, that is called ingestion. Next comes digestion. After the grinding in the buccal cavity, the food passes into the food pipe. The food pipe is called esophagus. Okay, through that the food moves and the digestion takes place. The definition for digestion. Digestion is a process where the complex food materials are broken into simpler forms with the help of enzymes. So it's an enzyme related activity. Okay. The breakdown of complex food substances into simpler forms with the help of enzymes is called digestion. So I told you about ingestion, I told you about digestion. Ingestion, undigested food material, the exact waste products are released from the large intestine through the rectum and anus. That is called digestion. Okay. Undigested waste material is sent out. That is called digestion. Okay. Then what is absorption? So absorption usually happens in the small intestine. Okay, we have villi, the finger-like projections called villi. So absorption, all the nutrients in the food item will be absorbed and will be taken into the cytoplasm by means of diffusion, right? So that is called absorption. Then what is assimilation? Assimilation is all that nutrients are being used up to get energy, to grow and for reproduction process. So that nutrients are taken to each and every cell, okay, for growth and development, for reproduction, for any repair in the tissue, damaged tissues, okay, like that. So that is called assimilation. Moreover, to obtain energy, okay, assimilation is done so as to obtain energy for growth and for reproduction purpose. So holozoic nutrition involves 5 steps: ingestion, digestion, digestion, assimilation, absorption, right? So now let us see about the digestive system mind map. Okay, digestive system in the form of mind map. Okay, mouth, okay, buccal cavity, okay, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine. Okay, mouth, buccal cavity, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine. So that is how the food passes on. Okay, so we take in food through our mouth. So in the mouth, when you wide open the mouth, that is called the buccal cavity. So inside the mouth we have teeth, tongue, the salivary glands which secrete saliva. So all these things help to break down the food we eat. Okay, and it passes on from mouth to buccal cavity. Then when we come to this neck region, we have esophagus. That is also known as food pipe. Okay. In the food pipe, the food passes by means of a special type of movement called peristaltic movement. Okay, as the food passes on, the food pipe will contract and relax. Okay, they just contract and expand, and the food passes on to the stomach, from the esophagus to the stomach. That kind of movement is called peristaltic movement. Okay, the contraction and relaxation of food pipe is called the peristaltic movement. Okay, then the food enters the stomach. So stomach is a bag-like structure. As the food keeps on entering, the stomach will also expand. The stomach has an inner lining called mucus. The stomach has gastric glands. The stomach will secrete HCl. Okay, so that the enzymes can act upon. That HCl will also kill the microorganisms present in our food that we eat. So the stomach has many functions. Okay, stomach has gastric glands. They also produce gastric juices for the digestion purpose. Actually, the stomach is having three parts, namely the cardiac, fundus, and pylorus. Okay, so even though there are three parts, you need not worry about that. That you can study in the higher classes. But now you understand that the stomach has three parts. That is cardiac, fundus, and pylorus. Okay. Then we come to small intestine. Small intestine will run up to 6 to 7 meters. It is very long. Okay, it is nicely folded and kept in the digestive system. Okay, and moreover, one thing about small intestine is small intestine will be more longer in case of herbivores, as they have to digest the cellulose. As they eat plant materials, they have to digest cellulose, so that intestine will be longer. Whereas in carnivores, as they feed on flesh eating, since the meat is easy to digest, the intestine, small intestine will be smaller. Okay, yes. And we all know that small intestine, inside there is a lining, it has finger-like projections. The finger-like projections will increase the surface area, and it is there where absorption, assimilation starts. Okay, and you know that villi are richly supplied with blood vessels, so that take the nutrient to each and every cell. Okay, and even small intestine has three main parts. Okay, the three main parts of small intestine are duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. Again, in detail about all this, you will read in higher classes. Okay. Now you understand that small intestine has duodenum, jejunum, and ileum, the three parts. Okay. Then we come to the large intestine. So all that undigested food material enter the large intestine. Large intestine also has three main parts: the cecum, colon, and rectum. Okay. So after passing all these stages, the food will be pushed into the anus, and it is being sent out. So that is the large intestine. Okay. Yes. So this is the mind map of digestive system, so that you can easily understand what is going on. So mouth, buccal cavity, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine. Right. As I said, next is some associated glands. Okay. They are gastric gland. Okay. Then so these are all the glands that are associated with the digestive system. Especially all this will produce a kind of enzyme which helps to break down the food material into simpler forms. Gastric gland usually seen in the stomach, okay, in the inner lining of the stomach wall. They produce gastric juices. About that I'll tell you. Then similarly intestinal gland. They also produce intestinal juice, enzymes. Okay, liver. Liver, you all know it secretes bile, and that the bile juice is stored in the gallbladder. Okay, so the liver produces bile, and that bile helps in the breakdown of larger fat molecules or fat globules okay, into simpler ones. It is called the emulsification of fat. So liver, the largest gland of body, produces bile. That bile is stored in the gallbladder. Bile helps in emulsification of fats. Then comes pancreas. Pancreas also produces enzymes. Commonly we call it as pancreatic juice. They also help in the breakdown of food materials. So these are all associated glands that help the digestive system. Digestive system is also known as alimentary canal. Okay. So with that we are going to see the various enzymes and their functions stepwise. Okay. So listen here. Enzymes. Okay. Where they are produced. Produced in. Okay. Then released in. Okay. Then action. Okay. So first we will take up carbohydrate digestion. Carbohydrate digestion. In this, what are all the enzymes involved? Okay. Actually, three enzymes are involved. Okay. First one is salivary amylase. Okay. Second one is pancreatic amylase. Okay. And the third one is salivary amylase is produced in salivary glands. Okay. Third one is maltase. And pancreatic amylase is produced in pancreas. Maltase is produced in intestinal gland. Okay. Released in. Okay. Salivary gland. Actually, that enzyme will be released in buccal cavity. Okay. This pancreatic amylase will be released into the small intestine. Okay. Similarly, this one also in small intestine. And the function. Okay. Actually, the starch. Okay. It is broken into sucrose. Here also the same thing. here it is okay. So carbohydrate digestion. These are the enzymes: salivary amylase, pancreatic amylase, maltase. Almost all the enzymes will end up with ASC. Okay, the suffix of all the enzymes will be ASC. Salivary amylase produced in salivary glands, released in buccal cavity. Okay, it will break the starch into sucrose. Pancreatic amylase produced in pancreas, released in small intestine. That will also convert starch into sucrose. Maltase produced in intestinal gland, released in small intestine, action starch into maltose. Okay, this is carbohydrate digestion. Next, we come to protein digestion. Protein digestion and the enzymes. Okay, first one pepsin, second one trypsin, and third one peptidase. Okay, pepsin is produced in gastric gland. Okay, and it will be released in the stomach. Trypsin is produced by this pancreas. Okay, and the peptidase by the intestinal gland. Okay, released in small intestine. This also small intestine. Okay, but all these things will reduce proteins into amino acids. Okay, I repeat, protein digestion. Okay, already we saw carbohydrate digestion. This is protein digestion. Pepsin is the enzyme produced by gastric gland that is released into the stomach. Trypsin is an enzyme produced by pancreas, released into small intestine. Peptidase is an enzyme produced by intestinal gland, released into small intestine. However, all these enzymes will help in breakdown of proteins into amino acids. Breakdown of proteins into amino acids. Okay, and the third one, fat digestion. Okay, fat digestion. Two enzymes. Okay, one is pancreatic lipase, the other one is intestinal lipase. Lipase is an enzyme. I told you enzymes will end up with AAC. Lipase is an enzyme that act on fats. Fats, another name is lipids. Okay, the enzyme that acts on fats are called lipids, lipase. Okay, yeah. So as usual, lipase produced by pancreatic gland, that is nothing but produced in pancreas, and this one in the intestinal gland. Okay, released in as usual small intestine. Yes, I mean small intestine. Okay, and what will happen is the fats are broken into fatty acids and glycerol. Okay, the fats are being broken into fatty acids and glycerol. Okay, fat digestion, two enzymes, pancreatic lipase, intestinal lipase. Lipase means enzyme that act on fats. So pancreatic lipase produced in pancreas, released in small intestine. Intestinal lipase produced in intestinal gland, released in small intestine. However, both the enzymes, what they will do, they will break the fats into fatty acids and glycerol. Okay. to the end of today's video session. Hope you enjoyed the teaching. So kindly like, share and subscribe. Thank you.